Good morning, welcome, and thanks for joining me on this very cold in the UK Monday morning to take 10 minutes to get more from your career or from your teams. And congratulations for doing the work on the first Monday of January 2026. OMG, we are living in the future. So today I'm going to share a bit about how and why conversations will really change the course of your career. And make or break is maybe a little bit dramatic, but they really will change the trajectory of your career and give you either more or less stress, opportunities, money, and enjoyment out of your career. So I'm going to share a story from my past about the time when I said the wrong number. And at the end, I have an invitation for you to join my quest, which I'm going to be starting on the 14th of January, so you can take control of your career conversations. If you're feeling very excited and can't wait, you can click on that QR code and find out more about the quest. So, back to the time when I said the wrong number. I was asking my boss for a pay increase, and I said the wrong number. Which direction do you think it was wrong in? Probably quite obvious. I'd been in the company for quite a while, including during COVID, which we know in the travel industry was a really tough time. And I'd moved countries with this company before. I'd worked in a couple of different roles. So I was established, I was known, I'd really built up my skill in the company and my expertise. So that's this pillar here is the skill. And I had a good support network over here as well. I knew a lot of people in the company because I enjoyed talking to people. I enjoyed doing the projects that were cross-functional. And then I also spent a lot of time working with a career coach because I was really feeling at a crossroads and like there must be more to my career than this. And working with a career coach, I got really clear on what I was good at, my strengths, my values, what I wanted to do more of, what I wanted to do less of, what made me special. And all of that falls under this pillar over here of self-leadership in the pilot principle. So which pillar was missing for me? Let's go back to the story. As I worked out what I wanted to do more of and less of and what was going to light me up and give me joy, I was bold enough to go to the seniors in my company during a moment of flex and change that was happening with the change of the fiscal year and tell them about the role that I envisioned, which was more cross-functional, bringing different teams together, spotting the gaps, creating new and better processes, which is all stuff that I really, really love doing. I had, with the permission of my current boss, I had an informal chat with my soon-to-be new boss. This wasn't an interview, it was about a 45-minute chat where I shared what I would do in my first few months if I had that role and why I thought I would be good in it. And honestly, it was more of a two-way brainstorm about what the role could look like. So that was really exciting for me. He was excited to have me. And within 2 days, he said, yep, come over to my team. It was super quick. And I started within 2 weeks. And again, this job wasn't posted anywhere and nobody else was interviewed. Now, I don't agree with that process, but what it means was I was the ideal candidate. And by speaking up and saying what I would do in that role, I shaped the role that I was going to have. So it was really, really exciting. But also, I was going to add a lot of value for them. So I started the new role, got stuck in, was really enjoying it. And I thought it was probably time to ask for a pay increase. I hadn't had one in 2 years because, COVID. So I prepared all of the reasons why I thought that I deserved this pay increase and also what was in it for the company, right? So it was an increase in seniority in the role. I would impact more departments because I was working cross-functionally. I was also impacting the whole region, not just the countries that I had been managing previously. And I explained the impact that my planned projects would have on profitability, on innovating, on finding gaps where things were being inefficient and making them more efficient. So I had not exactly numbers, but I had an idea of how I would impact the company more in this new role. And I also prepped and wrote down the number that I wanted to ask for, the salary that I wanted to ask for. But I had stories. I had stories up here. And I reckon that you might too, because a lot of my clients do as well. So does any of this sound familiar? Or maybe you've got slightly different ones. Who was I to ask for a 6-figure salary? Even though it was a different currency to the one I grew up in, that magic 6 figures just felt like a barrier that I wasn't allowed to jump over. People like me don't earn money like that. People in my family are hairdressers, cab drivers. My mum left school at 16 with no qualifications and then brought me up as a single mum. Like, people like me don't earn money like that. We don't do jobs like that. So who was I to ask for that money? Another story I had was money's hard to come by. Money doesn't grow on trees. You have to be very careful with your money. So how can I just ask for money and expect to receive it if it's so hard to come by and you have to be so careful with it? And the last one was a bit of my perfectionism, which I'm still recovering from. I haven't proven myself in the role yet, so what if I'm actually crap? Regardless of how long I've been in the company and in the industry, how well I've done, how many people in the company I know and can influence, which are all indicators of how well I might do the new role, it didn't matter. In my mind, I was still scared of failing, of suddenly this is the role that's going to reveal to everyone that I'm a complete fraud and I don't know what I'm talking about. I know that a lot of you are probably feeling similar, especially when you step into new roles. So, when the number that I had prepared and practiced came out of my mouth, it was wrong. And as you might expect, it came out too low. I asked for a 7% increase instead of the 17% that I actually wanted. Now, 7% was really barely enough to cover inflation across those 2 years and the cost of living in Singapore with its crazy rental prices at that time. And, it's really close to a normal amount to increase someone's salary by over 2 years if COVID hadn't happened, and not even taking into account the change of role, the change of seniority, and the change of impact. So I wasn't even really asking for much when I asked for the 7%. And what happened was I didn't get a pay rise at all. Now, that's not all down to me. I'm not saying that if I'd asked for 17, it would have been different, but definitely I would have liked to approach that conversation differently, because that conversation and all the others along the way will impact the trajectory of your career. So if you think, like, if I had got what I asked for, 7% increase, right? I go from no increase, I go to 7%, that's nice. But if I got 17%, I'd be like this. And then every job after that, I would have been able to impact my salary more and more. And by the end, I'd have more money, hopefully less stress for different reasons, and more opportunities as well. So by the end of the career, if you think about those lines, if you approach these conversations in an unplanned way or an unfocused way or an unaware way, like I did, like you don't even know these stories are here, it will mean fewer good opportunities for you, probably less money over the course of your career, and more stress overall, because you're always thinking, am I not good enough? What's going on? So that can mean job interviews, it can be salary negotiations, it can be in key meetings with senior people who have impact on your career. It can be managing upwards and managing your boss's style and his expectations or her expectations of you. So all these things are inflection points in your career where how well you have the conversation will change the trajectory. That story does actually have a happy ending though, because I moved companies and got a 50% pay increase. Whoa. Imagine the what's the word? Imagine the pressure I felt then to be perfect in the new role. That's another story. So maybe you're thinking, I'll just put my head down, I'll just work hard. Emily, I'm really good at my job. I'm really highly skilled. I've been doing my job for ages. I'm really good. And I'll just put my head down and that will get me there. Or maybe you even, you know where you want to go and what you want to do and what you're good at. And so that self-leadership combined with skill, you will definitely have amazing achievements in your career. You will do good things. You will sign good deals. But it doesn't necessarily mean that you will get that momentum to get your career moving in the direction where you're really going to be happy with it. So what you're missing there is the support from other people and that slick communication. So using our communication to get others to support us is the way to really build leverage over here. And if you are missing those two pillars in your career planning and your career skills, I have an invitation for you. Like I said, you can scan that QR code and find out more about it. So in January, from the 14th of January, I'm going to be taking some people on a quest to take control of your career conversations. It's a quest because we'll spend a few days together from the 14th of January. On 3 different days, we'll meet for 20 minutes each day. So it's really short, focused sessions. And from each session, you will take away one action plan bespoke to you, so that by the end of the 3 days, you've got a 3-point action plan that you've already started to implement. So you're already building momentum. You can get feedback on how it's been going for you on the next call or within the private LinkedIn group that I'll pop everyone into. So you can get feedback from me and from others to see how they're using the tools and how you might be able to get over any bumps or obstacles that you're facing. And yes, I will also be sharing my tips on how to change those stories in your mind so you can approach the conversations better. I would love to see you there. Scan the QR code or have a look on my LinkedIn profile if you'd like to join me.